Well, very briefly, very succinctly, lead is not dead, okay? As long as the housing stock, say in Boston, in the state, and in the nation, remains old, we're going to continue to have to deal with the issue of lead. So that's number one. Number two, I think the funding available through the public sector if it's not completely dried up, it's getting there. So finding resources, financial resources through the public sector is becoming more difficult. If a house was built before 1978, and even if it's been deleted, it really means that it's lead safe. It does not mean it's lead free. So if there's any deterioration of the house, or there's any work that is done on the house, and there are kids under the age of 6 there, there's a very significant risk that the child is going to be exposed all over again to lead. So the house needs to be kept in good condition. The landlord or landlady needs to make sure that if they do any work in the house, that either themselves or the people that they're hiring to do the work have been certified in renovation, repair, and painting. People who sell houses, the real estate people, they need to keep this in the forefront as well. They're supposed to get the owner to disclose whether or not, there's lead in the house. Unfortunately, a lot of people, either if they know, they say they don't know, or they have a letter of compliance, which is one of my major, bugaboos here. You get a letter of compliance that your house has been made lead safe, been deleted, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. That letter of compliance is totally worthless. And it's one of the issues that I've been really pushing the City of Boston and the State Department of Public Health and the Governor's Advisory Committee on the Prevention of Childhood Lead Poisoning. We need to do something around the letter of compliance. There has to be a time limit on it. If a tenant moves out and a new tenant comes in, there should be an inspection. If that hasn't happened, I would say every few years, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there ought to be some inspection that is required to take place if there's a child under the age of 6 living there. I mean, as I said before, it's worthless. I mean, houses and apartments deteriorate over time. It's just the normal course of people living, in apartments or living in houses. We really need to be more forceful in making that change happen legally and regulatory. Well, the way to deal with all that haphazardness in terms of ensuring that the work is being done properly and safely is there aren't enough inspectors, as I said before. So if somebody comes in and applies, say in the City of Boston, for a permit to do work, I'm not trying to say something needs to be done to hold up the job from starting, but there certainly is a way to see whether or not the contractor is certified in RRP, as we call it, renovation, repair, and painting. And then if not, that can target an inspection. So it's a way to cut through all that garbage and utilize the public sector's time and energy and staff more appropriately. And frankly, I think that that's something that can be done on a state level through the Executive Office of Public Safety, through whatever the Bureau now is called. Before it used to call BBRS, the Bureau of Building Regulation and Standards, and to have that regulation instituted statewide. But, I feel like everywhere I go, there are all these obstacles. But in terms of what you're trying to do in policy issues, I think this might be a good place to get this conversation going and also to make some of these changes that I've just mentioned.